Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the new Crusader Intrepid. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to Star Citizen, and today we're looking at the new Intrepid. Now, I've already done a preview on this ship, but today is going to be a review going over the stats and everything you need to know for its release here in a few days during IAE. Now, before we get into that, I just want to make sure you are subscribed onto the channel. There's tons of giveaways I like to do, including one that's going on right now. Look into the description down below and go ahead and make sure you enter. Make sure you're subscribed to be notified. Now, taking a look here at the Crusader Intrepid. This ship is quite the little starter. At first, it had a rocky start because it was, quite weird with its gun layout, only having one size 3. But since then, since my preview video, they've gone ahead and upped it to a size 4 gun, which is great. It really helps out. It actually puts it above quite a few other starters, which have less DPS output, which is always good. Now, this has a very odd asymmetrical design to it, but honestly, I've fallen in love with it. It's got a great interior, and honestly, it can do a bit of everything. So let's go ahead and get into it. This ship doesn't currently have a price because it's not technically been announced yet with its price page, its store page. So that price is pending. I'd like to say, comment down below. Let me know what you think the price is going to be. I'm sitting somewhere obviously between 50 to 65, somewhere in that mark. It is Crusader and it has a beautiful design. So there's a good chance for that. Now, taking a look at its damage per second, it has a total of 436 damage per second, and that's using that one size 4 CF447 Rhino. Now, that Rhino does have 62 shots normally and 75 shots if you up it to 2 bars, which is perfect. It's a good amount and allows you to go out there and do some, pretty decent sized bounties without having to worry too much, but you might want to upgrade if you're going to do some bigger bounties. Now, you also have 2 size 1 Marksman 1 missiles. And, that's not so great. It's probably one of the least amount of missiles you get in a starter ship, but there are a few other starters with around that amount. Now, taking a look at its defensive capabilities, it does have one size 1 1500 quadrant shield, which is interesting. 1500 shield HP with it being a quadrant shield. That's not something you typically see at size 1. You only typically see quadrant shields size 3 and up. But with this one, it is quadrant, so that does make each face have a little bit of that health pool. And so it's kind of nice in a way because if, you make sure the enemy focuses on one face at a time, you can kind of keep that shield regenerating and kind of, keep it from falling as quick as a bubble shield. But outside of that, you also have 15,350 ship health pool, which is pretty good, better than a lot of starters, not as good as maybe a few of them. So it's definitely, I'd say, above average for starters. Really good, and it's pretty decent. I wish the shield was just a little bit more, but since it's not, you got to rely on that health pool, and that's all right. It really does help out. Now, past that, you do have the ability to carry 8 SCU of cargo, which I'm going to get into here in just a moment. The cargo ramps that deploy from the bottom of the ship are honestly really cool, and once you kind of get used to how to load it, it's not too difficult. You just got to make sure you go straight on in, and you got it. Now, past that, you do have a 48-48 145 pitch yaw roll, so not the most maneuverable starter, but not the worst. It's kind of right there in the middle, so I'd say it's about average for your starter craft when it comes to your maneuverability. So again, not terrible, not the best. Now, looking at its ship speed, it's got a top speed of 227 SCM while you're in SCM gun mode, or 1,225 navigation speed, which is actually, really good. It's not Avenger Titan good, but it's also not the slowest ship out there. So, Star Lancer. I'm just kidding. Star Lancer's not the slowest either. Now, looking at its ability to fly, what do you think of hydrogen and quantum fuel? Well, this thing has 26 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.2 SCU of quantum fuel, making it one of many, well, not too many, starter ships that can actually make the jump from Stanton to Pyro because it is over that 1.0 mark. Now, there are a few others that can do that, but it's definitely not all starter ships, so I do appreciate that with the Intrepid, and then you have a little bit extra left over once you complete your jump, which is always great. Now, let's talk about the things that you can actually do with the Intrepid. Looking at this ship, you're like, oh, man, I hate the look of the outside, or maybe I'm not too impressed with the gun, but honestly, you can definitely load 8 SCU of cargo, or you can load up to probably about 16 SCU if you just take, advantage of the way that the interior doors open for your cargo ramp. You just pull the boxes right on off that grid before you bring it up, and you just bring the boxes in. I was stacking them in there, and I was having a great time, able to do the beginner cargo mission, no problem. Now, after that, I was able to do deliveries as well, and it's really cool because you have this nice delivery shelf here. You can put 3 boxes on. Fantastic. It fits well. You can close that door, and it was just fantastic. I loved it. Having that little door for that was this is one of those little things that you're like, ooh, that's cool. And then you can absolutely do bounties. You can do smaller bounties. Obviously, you're not going to go out there and take on a Redeemer or something, but you can go out there and take on your beginner bounties and do a bunch of bunker runs in this ship. The ship does have a great interior, allowing you to kind of sit somewhere and log out or do what you need to do, and that's pretty awesome. So, speaking of all those stats and everything, let's go ahead and head into the inside of the Intrepid. As you can see, it has this beautiful ramp here, stairway, that deploys from the side of the ship, just like a 100 series ship, which makes it amazing because you don't have to worry about an animation while getting in. Love that. Now, to your left, obviously, you're going to have your cockpit. So if you open this door here, you're going to have some of your components, right and left, including a relay area. Yes, this thing has a relay and an engineering terminal, probably to introduce starting players to that gameplay. So pretty cool. Now, here is your pilot seat. And as you can see, there is quite the view out the window. And you have, 2 MFDs right here. Very beautiful looking. Very good amount of view compared to certain other brands that doesn't have that great of a view. Now, if we were to go ahead and turn around, we'll go down the hallway one room at a time here. So to the left is your living area. Once you walk into here, you have a nice bed, you have a armored locker, and you have also heavy weapons as well as light weapon, weapon racks. And then you have, of course, like I was showing you, the ability to store 3 of your packages, which, that reminds me, I really got to complete this mission. Now, if I were to turn around, you do also have, oh, he was really wasted, I guess. But you also have a nice seating area. You also have a very nice restroom here. I gotta love it, including a very nice mirror, and as well you have a very nice kitchen area where you can go ahead and make your drinks, make your food, store things in the nice fridge here. Very cool. Let me go ahead and take off my helmet and see how my head looks in that mirror, because sometimes the helmets are kind of funky. A little bit better. Right now they're in the PTU, everybody looks the same, so that's interesting. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on, get my helmet back on here. Oh yeah, put that box right on my head. Perfect. And the last room, as well as a fire extinguisher. You're going to see, if you open this door, right to the right you have that cargo access like I was just talking about. You can open that up, go in here, and you can also deploy it from here as well. There's also a switch on the back of the vehicle that allows you to deploy it. Now, you can technically tractor beam a pulse onto that ramp and bring it on up, which is pretty cool. And then you turn around, you have another one, as well as your engineering terminal and some more components. Like I said, you can stack quite a few boxes in here if you really want to, so that's pretty nice. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what do you think my score would be on this ship. It's going to surprise some people, but honestly, it's a fantastic ship, and I think it's a great starter for anybody starting out, or even some of us veterans that just like having these smaller ships to fly around in, and I would see this thing as a 9 out of 10 for me. Honestly, you got great quantum fuel, you got great firepower for the one gun that it does have, and then you're lacking on the missiles, which is going to be the negative point for me. Now, if you were to also take a look at its health pool and shield, it's definitely not bad. It's just about average, so I'd say no point drops there. Honestly, it's just overall a pretty decent ship, and she is fast. So once you go ahead and take off, you get moving, and you get moving really fast. and those VTOL thrusters, right? So remember, to deploy your VTOLs, you go ahead and press K, and same thing to retract them. After that, you can go ahead and just get moving, like this ship tends to do. Now, she is a little bit bigger of a ship, but that's all right. Now, let me know what you think of the new Crusader Intrepid down in the comments below. I am pretty interested. I know it's kind of hit and miss. There's a lot of people that don't like its asymmetrical design, especially with how this cockpit is off-center. But, you know, I think it's nice. It looks great. It's weird, and I love that. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you going to buy one? Or are you going to skip on this one this year? Thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this review of the Crusader Intrepid. Thanks to my channel members. You guys are all awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.